How is it going out there, my fellow world patriots? It is indeed Wednesday, December 10th, 2025, and we are certainly closing in on 2026 quite rapidly. And I'm putting some stories together here for you guys in short format, which I will continue to do so. So that way, some of you guys who don't like to listen to the 2-3 hour lives can get some regular uploads like used to be my bread and butter wheelhouse. So let's start off today with somebody I've been very cautious about in the last few years, and maybe I just got my answer as to why. Well, we have Patrick Byrne here on Emerald Robinson, and listen to what they are talking about here.
So how would you describe your role with the CIA, which you haven't revealed before?
Well, again, I was telling the truth when I said they frequently was reminded that you have a really non-standard relationship. You have that. It became kind of my mother relationship. I had lots of relationships across the government, but eventually I went from there to by 2010, 2011, Obama, I became something called a tier one intelligence asset. And then in 2010, 2011, Obama elevated me to national intelligence asset. I was told I was going to be the ace in the hole for all kinds of, for the real tough situations from 2010, 20. That was after working for Brennan for 4 or 5 years. And then I continued doing all that stuff through 2016. And all this crazy stuff happened that I've told you about, where we set up the Russian hoax. That's why, I've talked around it because I was trying to hide that. But I've told these stories about how I got drawn into setting up the Russian hoax and the Hillary this and that. There was a little bit of fibbing there. I didn't want to explain the whole truth. I was doing that. I didn't just stumble into it. I was their go-to asset. I was the national intelligence asset. First, I got pulled under Brennan in 2006, and then 2011, I got moved into the White House. That's why I got mixed up in the Russian collusion and the Hillary stuff.
So very interesting. He says he was actually an asset for the CIA. Now, we know early on he did other work for the FBI. I believe one of his targets was a Russian woman he was supposed to get close to. I forget her name off the top of my head, but there was another woman that he was supposed to get close to, in which he did, and essentially, basically said he had these meetings with these, I think, congressmen or senators that essentially gave him this special deal here. So he let that story be known a long time ago. Now he's coming out and saying essentially that he was working with the CIA for John Brennan, and then actually helped set up the Russia collusion hoax, which they all knew was set up by Hillary Clinton. Let's let them continue here.
There's actually a docu-series that General Michael Flynn produced about your life story, and this will make more sense now that you've shared this information if you go back and watch that docu-series. But why are you sharing this information now, Patrick? As we're looking at Venezuela and we're talking about our rigged elections, it seems to me that you feel that this is an important part of you that you need to let the people know. Why?
I've danced around long enough and it's not working. And the regret of my life is that I spent the first Trump term trying to dance around within my constraints. Buffett said, Patrick, when I went to see him, it was like my rabbi, he said, Patrick, just go on television and tell everything. And I just said I couldn't do that, but I went and told enough trying to shape. And I've had enough. We're having insurrection. We have an insurrection going on. People calling, these people calling, and don't you hate how that they say, well, we're not saying disobey Trump. We're just saying that if he gives you illegal orders, which theoretically, then it's time for you to disobey Trump. So I want to tell people in the military who I know watch your show that theoretically, if you have officers, generals or colonels who try to get you to take part in a color revolution.
And he's going to say basically to do something that would, let's say, stop their breathing forever. So we're not going to say that right now. But he's basically saying, like, take them out of the picture, essentially. You have people that are telling you to stop, doing an order that President Trump tells you, then basically pew them. Not such the greatest idea. But, again, right, the whole thing about the seditious six and that whole thing, they couldn't even point to one story or one order that President Trump had given that is illegal. The best they could give you was, oh, well, we believe there's some legal gymnastics. And, of course, I just looked that up really quickly as Patrick was telling Emerald Robinson here that deal, and it was Maria Butina. That was the woman that he was told to get close to. And then so one wonders, like, is that story correct? Because was he kind of talking around the stuff that was going on here? And of course, they were mentioning Venezuela here as well. And Salty Dog put this up on X a little while ago. Well, isn't this just an interesting little fact? Chuck Schumer did vote yes on the Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Act of 1986. Yes, he's been in there for that long, guys. It's authorized the U.S. military to use force, including deadly force, against drug smuggling vessels on the high seas. The House passed it 392 to 16, and the Senate passed it 97 to 2. Don't believe me? Well, look it up. Maritime Drug Enforcement Act of 1986, part of the larger Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986, which passed with overwhelming bipartisan support in both the House and Senate. And as stated, yay nay 392 to 16, and yay nay of 97 to 2 in Senate, which lines up exactly to what he's saying right here. Actually, on the heels of that, guys, today we have another interesting little tidbit of information that I'm going to play from you from President Trump here. Updates from the White House channel here. So let's take a little listen. Probably have to put that up. Here we go.
It's been an interesting day from the standpoint of news. As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people.
And do you guys think that was like, I don't know, an oil tanker? You know, I don't think they go out of their way to seize tankers. President Trump just announced the U.S. has seized a tanker ship off the coast of Venezuela. It's the largest one ever seized. So I don't think they would go there just to, you know what, we're going to hurt them and take some oil or some gasoline or whatever the case may be, right? Most likely it's drug related. But we've known this is all good, and the Democrats have known this is all good to basically go after these people as well. Now, shifting gears to the Charlie Kirk situation, which I am now calling it and have been calling it because since its inception, I've had big problems with the official narrative, which in my opinion is complete horse doo-doo. So, as we're going on here, I wanted to show you guys another interesting little clip. Of all people that brought it up was actually Candace. So let me pull this one up for you because I think you're going to find this one to be extremely interesting. So people that she's been in contact with, so let me just set the table here for you a little bit. She was reached out to by a gentleman that said that he worked, I think about 25 years ago, with the 10th Mountain Division. The 10th Mountain Division. Now, you may remember them from being in the drops as well, but I'm going to let Candace tell you a little story here that this gentleman has told her. And so I'm going to play about, I don't know, 30 seconds of this clip, and there's another 30-second clip that I have for you as well. But very, very illuminating information, in my opinion. So let's listen to her. Whether you believe her or not, guys, I think we can all agree that the official narrative is out the window and makes no sense whatsoever. So let's see what she's got to say here.
Soldiers, again, this is just all God at this point, who happen to be wearing 10th Mountain Division patches. And he's like, that's my old unit. What's going on here? Like that, he thinks his unit's gone. Nothing's going on with this unit for a long time. That it's been torn apart, or I don't know what the military expression is for that. He strikes up a conversation with these young guys, and they tell him, "Oh no, the old Joint Task Force 6 is now being continued, and it's known as JTF, Joint Task Force Southern Border." Now, for those of you,
so essentially, this guy was going down to Camp Huachuca, I believe, in Arizona, to get some answers for some of the things that he was going through or said he was going through for the last 25 years. And there's a big backstory to that, which I'm not going to bore you guys with now, but definitely interesting to listen to the video. Now, this guy went to this base and then he went off base to go get a coffee. And I see a lot of people in the chat like, oh, what military guy wouldn't know, you know, you can get coffee on the base and you can find the CID office easy. And it's like, well, this guy's not been in the military for 25 years. And when he was, his home base, I believe, was New York, right? The 10th Mountain Division. And so a lot of people are kind of busting the beans of this. Now, I would be very cautious if I was her too, because a lot of these things that are being said are kind of just what we want to hear, is in the fact of like, is this like all a setup, like a movie? Like, what the hell is going on here, right? So this guy goes off base to go get a coffee, and oops, as luck would have it, he just bumps into what happens to be his old team, the 10th Mountain Division. So I'll just show you guys here really quick. Just a Google search. 10th Mountain Division, highly skilled light infantry division of the 10th of the U.S. Army, renowned for its mountain and winter warfare expertise, specialized in difficult terrains, and based at Fort Drum, New York. Right, and then it continues on. So, these guys being in Arizona was a little bit of a like, whoa, what's going on? And the fact that, oh, my old unit still exists. That's cool. Okay, so I'm also going to let this play for, I think, I don't know, maybe another 45 seconds or so, because what Candace says here is very interesting and, if true, very, I guess we could say, problematic. But, again, I'll let you guys let me know in the chat what you guys think about what she's saying here, but let's take a listen.
You are trying to do this in a very isolated location where, people are not going to accidentally happen upon you because they've got something to say about what happened 35 years ago. And that is what he happened upon. And I don't know what to make of this information other than he feels that he then recognized these people. He feels certain that he recognized these people in the days following Kirk's assassination, when a bunch of people are doing Fox News. And obviously then we've got a massive event at a stadium and everybody is in front of the camera eulogizing him. He feels confident that he recognizes these people and that needs to be shared. He's willing to tell a story. Like I said, I have verified. He has sent me so many documents, everything from his high school graduation certificate to his military documents to the police records.
Wow, what to unpack about that one, guys? Right? I mean, so the whole thing of, for me, from day one, immediately first shot, I was like, wow, that's a lot of blood. Like, that's a lot of blood just coming out like a fire hose, right? And not kind of squirting like it would be if your heart was pumping the blood out. Splurt, splurt, splurt. It just all over the place. Then we saw the absolutely odd behavior of the people that were around him, people jumping over a table just to get to him, just to run off and then never be seen again, right? That the guy immediately took down the SD card out of the camera immediately. So a lot of questions around this stuff. So my question to you guys is this all part of the play, right? Is this whole back and forth that they're having, is it a real thing, right? Because apparently they're going to be sitting down. Now, whether they're going to be face to face or not, I don't know. But I did find it a little weird that Turning Point says, oh, we're going to be doing this here, live face to face on this date. And, if Candace isn't here, we're going to do it anyway. And I'm thinking, geez, me and Hulk and, in California, I'm in Rhode Island, Ardoc's over in the Czech Republic, Ron's in the center of the United States. We all do shows all the time, no problem, with Zoom, right? Teams, Zoom, Skype, whatever you want to call it, whatever you kind of do. But a video chat is certainly ample to do what they need to do and get the information out that they need to get out. Now, you actually even had Charlie Kirk's wife on Fox News and basically talking about how, these conspiracy theorists need to stop this and they need to stop doing that. And, well, what do you think Candace's videos today was about? I'm just going to show you this one. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Erica Kirk goes off on, quote, conspiracy theorists. And on the title or the thumbnail, it says, I think they're talking about me. Yeah, obviously. So this was the first time that I saw Erica Kirk step out and actually address anything about this. And to be honest with you, I was pretty shocked that she's essentially saying, I can't believe people are out there attacking, people that we love and Charlie loved and was great friends and the hand-picked people that we had here. That didn't read so well for me. It looked a little sketchy, to be honest with you. And at the end of the day, wouldn't a wife want to know, no matter who did it, who killed her husband? I'm kind of dumbfounded, to be honest with you guys. I see a lot of people out there that used to love Candace and say, oh, I don't believe a word she says now. I can't stand her. And I'm like, but do you believe the official narrative? That's my question to you guys. Do you really believe anything, like even one fact about the official narrative? Because I certainly don't. And I gotta admit, guys, I've said it numerous times, that official narrative is out the window for me, and very likely due to a very scripted, choreographed scenario is my hope, right? But certainly the official narrative is out the window. So with that said, guys, I do appreciate you taking the 17 minutes, as we are right now, to hang out with me here and check out my video. Trying to make these in between 10 and 20 minutes so they're not too long for you guys, and get back, like I said, into my shorter videos that I used to do. And hopefully you guys like those as well. So with that said, I do appreciate each and every last one of you wonderful world patriots out there for tuning in. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.